that happens. If XRP replaces SWIFT and FedNow, you know what happens? Let me give you some numbers here. XRP's ledger processes transactions in 3 to 5 seconds at nearly no cost, making it significantly faster and cheaper than SWIFT. So SWIFT processes $5 trillion daily, or 1.25 quadrillion annually. If you didn't know what that was, quadrillion annually, SWIFT. If XRP captures 5 to 10% of volume, let's just say 10% of volume, $125 trillion annually. The demand for XRP, by the way, could be any of these other technologies we're talking about. Analysts estimate that a $10 trillion market cap could push XRP's price to $100 per token.
What's going up, bull runners? Welcome back to the channel. Imagine this, a crypto mystery unfolding right now, one that could change the game for your portfolio. You're sitting there scrolling through the noise, wondering what's the next big move in crypto? What's hiding just beneath the surface, ready to explode? Well, today we're deep diving into a story that's got everyone talking. The XRP ETF race and legal battle with the SEC might finally be reaching its end. Picture this, a shadowy standoff years in the making, suddenly cracking open with new clues. Funds are lining up, waiting for approval, and whispers of resolution are swirling. Why does this matter? Because when the fog clears, XRP could skyrocket or stumble, and you need to know which way it's heading. Here's the problem. Uncertainty, it's like a fog creeping over the crypto market, leaving you guessing. Will these ETFs get the green light? Will Ripple walk away from the fight with the SEC victorious or bruised? It's confusing, it's tense, and it's keeping millions of investors on the edge. But don't worry, because today we're slicing through that fog with crystal clear updates. We'll reveal the funds that are in the running, unpack the SEC case that could be wrapping up, and show you why this moment feels so urgent. The crypto world moves fast, and if you blink, you might miss the chance to get ahead. And stick with me till the end. I've got a bonus for you while I'll be revealing the Altcoin Pro Crypto University. So if you're like most people where you don't have the opportunity to spend hours a day in the crypto markets like we do here on this channel, make sure you subscribe today. And if you're feeling bullish about this current bull run, let me know by commenting 777 down below. Plus, we will be jumping over to X to find out all of the breaking news that's happening in crypto right now. We'll be jumping over to TradingView to take a look at XRP in the charts. As we talked about for several days, there was a potential bounce here at the support of $1.91, running back up to $2.23, where we are running into resistance. Once we can break that and start moving back to the upside, 250s next, we'll look at more support and resistance. Are we potentially dropping to 99 cents? We'll deep dive XRP ETF. Here are the funds that are awaiting SEC approval. And the big one is here potentially tomorrow. SEC's enforcement case against Ripple may be wrapping up. But first, let's take a look at the overall health of the crypto market today. Market cap currently sitting at $2.69 trillion. As you know, we're waiting for it to get back up above $3 trillion.
April 15th, 2025. This is a huge date because it's the deadline for 2 high-paying tax credits that you probably haven't heard about, but you can still get if you take action right now. We've partnered with the relief consultants who are experts in the tax code who've recovered over $100 million for their clients so far. So if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur, listen up so we can get you help and reach our goal of recovering $10 million for the Bull Runners community before the April 15th deadline. So here's how it works. If you're a business owner who had employees in 2021, then you qualify for an average $150,000 check from the Treasury and possibly more with the Employee Retention Credit Program. So if you were told in the past that you don't qualify, get a second opinion now through the link in the description below this video, because there are rules and regulations that have changed just recently. So there's a high likelihood that you do qualify now. And if you sold your business or you shut it down, you still qualify as long as you were active in 2021. So don't miss out. Schedule an appointment with the link below. Just click business owner with employees if it applies to you. There's also a second tax credit that also ends April 15th. So this is for the bull runners who are self-employed in 2021. So if you were a 1099, not W-2, and self-employment was your primary income, the Treasury check for this tax credit can go up to $32,220 with an average of $17,000. So if you were self-employed in 2021 and want to see if you haven't claimed this credit, which nobody has from our community thus far for some strange reason. We've been talking about this in several videos. I don't know, man, maybe you just want the treasury to keep your money, but if you want to get money back in your pocket, then schedule a consultation. Don't be lazy. Do this right now before April 15th through the link below. Just click self-employed if you think you qualify for both credits. Let the rep know on the call. And by the way, if you have your tax returns from 2020 and 2021 for this credit, it will be a faster turnaround for you. So have them ready on your call, and they can literally tell you if you qualify on your first call to get you paid. So if you need more money back in your pocket for this bull run, take action right now, click the link, and let's get you paid.
Once we get to those levels, we can start to be confident that we're really starting to move to the upside again. Fear and greed index at 19 today. Yesterday is the lowest it has been in months on CoinMarketCap's site. Extreme fear all the way down to 15. We are moving back to the upside at 19 today. Last week was 23. And then the week before that, last month, was 35. We have not been in the extreme greed scenario since the beginning of December. And ever since then, price has also been dropping along with the fear and greed index. Altcoin season index may have bottomed as well. We're currently sitting at 13. Yesterday was 16. Last week it was 15. Last month was a 40. But 13 is the lowest that I have seen it. On March 1st, it was at a 14, but today it is even lower. So this could be a great sign of things to come to the upside because things are bottoming out. Speaking of bottoming out, the ETFs continue to flow out. There was the $392 million outflow with ETFs on the March 10th report. March 11th report has not hit the system yet. But an interesting stat, when you look at it for the full year, we saw obviously the biggest outflow was the week of February 23rd. Huge amounts of both Bitcoin and Ethereum to the downside. In fact, over $2 billion in Bitcoin and over 335 million in Ethereum. But as we can see, the volume is starting to creep its way to the upside. Will we finally start to see a break back to the upside? Because as you remember, when we started doing the major pump to the upside, there was massive volume coming into those ETFs, peaking out at the beginning of December, which is then we started to see the outflows of ETFs and also the prices dropping. Top 5 trending tokens according to CoinMarketCap right now: Pi Network number 1, VIC number 2, Banana number 3, Red number 4, and TIA number 5. Top 5 coins by total market cap: Bitcoin at $1.6 trillion, Ethereum at $227 billion, Tether coming in at $143 billion, XRP at $129 billion, BNB at $80 billion. And since Tether is a stablecoin, we'll go ahead and throw in number 6, Solana, which is the number 5 actual coin, $63 billion total market cap. John Deaton replying to an X post of Eleanor Tourette. Just as my friend Meta Lawman suggested, by the way, I have met some of the best and smartest lawyers here on crypto Twitter, including those who have disagreed or been critical of me. And he's in response to Eleanor Tourette saying, 2 well-placed sources tell me that the SEC versus Ripple case is in the process of wrapping up and could be over soon. And she said, my understanding is that the delay in reaching an agreement is due to Ripple's legal team negotiating a more favorable term regarding the August district court ruling, which imposed a $125 million fine on the company and included a permanent injunction preventing the company from selling XRP to institutional investors. The argument, I'm told, is that the new SEC leadership is wiping the enforcement slate clean from all previously targeted crypto firms because it believes regulatory clarity will resolve the underlying issue. Why should Ripple still be penalized? Accepting the Torres ruling as it stands would mean that Ripple is essentially agreeing to admit to wrongdoing, but now the SEC itself is seemingly unsure whether any wrongdoing occurred. So on top of that, our Twitter, our X account, BULLRUNNERS, go ahead and follow us at BULLRUNNERS HQ, also posted this out. SEC announces a closed-door meeting on March 13th, 2025. Something big is brewing, so that will be tomorrow at 2 p.m. on March 13th. The meeting will be held via remote means and or the commissioner's headquarters, Washington, D.C. And we'll get into the deeper dive of the article on all of this here in just a couple of minutes, but it is really interesting, all of this craziness that's going on. In fact, there's articles everyone's talking about on an X. This could be something huge tomorrow, or is it going to be a nothing burger as it always is? Well, I'm optimistic. I think that this could be coming to an end tomorrow. And as we saw in the intro video, I wanted to show you this at length because he does a great job explaining this here. Patrick Bet-David.
That happens. If XRP replaces SWIFT and FedNow, you know what happens? Let me give you some numbers here. XRP's ledger processes transactions in 3 to 5 seconds at nearly no cost, making it significantly faster and cheaper than SWIFT. So SWIFT processes $5 trillion daily, or 1.25 quadrillion annually. If you didn't know what that was, quadrillion annually, SWIFT. If XRP captures 5 to 10% of volume, let's just say 10% of volume, $125 trillion annually. The demand for XRP, by the way, it could be any of these other technologies we're talking about. Analysts estimate that a $10 trillion market cap could push XRP's price to $100 per token, with full replacement potentially driving it up to $1,000. Now, who those analysts are, I'm willing to bet those analysts own Ripple. And that's why they're writing this. Hey, analysts, just because I say analyst says, it doesn't mean they're 100% right. But hey, it is a way of looking at what could happen with this. If this were to happen, it's a big deal. Now, the roadblock that they have are a couple things. One is the SEC lawsuit that has slowed adoption, but a resolution could boost institutional confidence. Regulatory approval, especially in the U.S., is critical for widespread adoption. Let me unpack the legal trouble. Let's just go back 4 or 5 years so you kind of know what's going on here. December 22nd, 2020, the SEC filed a lawsuit against Ripple Labs and its executive, Brad Garlinghouse, alleging that the sale of XRP constitute an unregistered securities offering worth over $1.3 billion. Then in April of 2021, Judge Sarah Netburn granted a motion limiting the SEC's access to the personal financial records of Garlinghouse and Larson, marking a procedural win for Ripple. Then 2 years later, July 13, 2023, Judge Annalisa Torres issued a mixed ruling. XRP was not deemed a security when sold on public exchanges, but institutional sales violated securities law. Ripple was fined $125 million, significantly less than the original $2 billion. Then we go to October 2024. SEC filed an appeal against Judge Torres' ruling, seeking clarity on XRP's clarification. Ripple's leadership criticized the appeal, and XRP's value experienced volatility, dropping to a 11% following the news. November 2024, reports surfaced that Gary Gensler planned departure in January 2025. Hello, that was a big moment for them because Gary was a guy that was not happy about it. He kind of had some favors with a couple friends he had different places. Legal experts, including attorney Jeremy Hogan, speculated that this could lead to a resolution of a Ripple case by spring or early summer of 2025. December 2nd, XRP's market performance showed significant growth, with a 123% growth increased since SEC's initial lawsuit, showing signs of optimism. So who knows what's going to be happening? When the president, his name is Donald Trump, and he puts something on Truth Social, and the first one he puts up is XRP, then the retweet, he says, let me also give some love to Bitcoin and Ethereum. That means some of the people behind closed doors that are in his ear, like a guy like Elon Musk and some of the other people, maybe something's about to happen. I would be paying attention. That's all I'm saying to you. Analysts are.
So interesting times, ladies and gentlemen. Also interesting that he mentions Elon Musk there. We still haven't really talked much about it lately, but will XRP run the X payment system on the X platform? And just in, Senator Loomis reintroduces the Bitcoin Act to buy 1 million Bitcoin.
I'm so pleased to announce that today I will be reintroducing the Bitcoin Act. And I'll be joined here shortly by Senator Justice of West Virginia, who is one of the co-sponsors. And we have several other additional co-sponsors. And a lot of it is a result of the excitement that's been building. Both of them. I'm so pleased.
Obviously, some big exciting news for Bitcoin maxis as well out there. Altcoin season starts in 3 days, Sensei says. As we can see here, he's got some charts up. First altcoin season bounced off this trend line, had a massive push to the upside. Second altcoin season bounced off this trend line, massive push. We have now just bounced off of that trend line. So exciting times ahead, potentially to the upside, because we're going to really moonshot. Another interesting bull post for XRP. Bitcoin BTC is the greatest distraction from the greatest disruption that is happening in the financial services today. Jenny Johnson, Franklin Templeton CEO, XRP ETF was just filed by Franklin Templeton. So let's take a listen.
Say that one of the best opportunities now is cryptocurrencies, though crypto has had some problems. What do you tell people that say they want to be in cryptocurrencies? Do you offer the opportunity for people to invest in crypto through Franklin Templeton?
Yes, actually we do. So first of all, I would say that that Bitcoin is the greatest distraction from the greatest disruption that is happening in financial services today. So I wish, because every time everybody gets in a conversation about crypto, it leads into a conversation about whether this currency, whether it's Dogecoin or Bitcoin, is of value. Forget that. That's like a religion. You either get a believer or a non-believer, and they're never going to agree. But blockchain as a technology and what it can do is going to be hugely disruptive. So not only is it going to be disruptive on traditional back offices and just create much greater efficiency, but disruption on business models.
Say that
one of the oldest banks in the United States stated at Congress that they are committed to developing the future of finance via the integration of blockchain as well. BNY Mellon processes $2.4 trillion in payments each day across all payment rails.
As the world's largest custodian with more than 52 trillion of assets in custody, BNY helps companies and banks, big and small, access the money they need. BNY plays a central role in supporting US Treasury markets and process approximately 2.4 trillion of payments per day across all payment rails. Our commitment to advancing the future of finance includes the integration of blockchain. This technology has the potential to make money move smarter and faster. Stablecoins can use these benefits to serve as a complement to the existing payment services and rails we offer our clients today. BNY supports stablecoin issuers by providing our traditional banking services, payments, deposit taking, and custody. For example, we serve as the primary custodian for the reserve assets of the largest stablecoin issuer in the US today. Providing these traditional services to a new client type was a natural evolution for BNY. The stablecoin ecosystem will continue to develop as market participants explore use cases based on their business models and client needs. This ecosystem will benefit from federal legislation that advances clarity and consistency no matter the type of stablecoin issuer or the governing regulatory regime.
XRP ETF, here are the funds awaiting SEC approval so far. Now, one thing I want to put into perspective here, I'm personally pretty conservative on my thoughts on the growth of XRP exploding overnight, and we continue to hear that. It could all happen overnight. Well, it's really interesting because we have 16 companies that want to have an ETF for XRP waiting in the stables. Once the SEC court case is dropped potentially tomorrow, then all of these go live potentially next week, and they offer all of their clients XRP ETFs. It could be an overnight scenario where it does go to $100, $1,000, or some of these crazy numbers like $10,000 a coin when you really put it into perspective. So Franklin Templeton joins the ETF race, and their ETF is designed to track the performance of XRP's price, with XRP holdings stored at Coinbase Custody Trust, according to an official filing with the SEC and Exchange Commission on the 11th. Now, what's really interesting, if you've noticed, we watch Whale Watchers, and we'll see a lot of times that XRP, unknown wallet to Coinbase, and everyone's like, oh, what could that be? What if these companies are loading up already, but they haven't been able to offer them for sales to their customers? That's a what if as well. On the same day, the SEC postponed decisions on multiple crypto ETF filings, including Grayscale's proposal to convert XRP to a trust and an ETF. Despite the growing XRP ETF filing frenzy, BlackRock, issuer the largest spot Bitcoin ETF, has yet to submit its filing. So imagine when that one comes along as well. Who has filed with the US so far? As of March 12th, 9 companies have filed XRP ETF products in the United States, including major issues like Bitwise, ProShares, 21 Shares, and others. Bitwise, one of the world's largest crypto fund managers, was the first firm to submit the S1 filing for an XRP ETF all the way back on October 2nd, 2024. So here are the XRP ETF filings. We'll talk about the issuer first. We got Bitwise, Canary Capital, 21 Shares, Wisdom Tree, ProShares, CoinShares, Grayscale, Volatility Shares, and Franklin Templeton. So that's 9 different companies, but some of them are going to be offering different product options. So just US-based ETF offers right here, we have 14 different offerings that will hopefully be coming available. Canary Capital subsequently followed their S1 in October 8th. Switzerland-based crypto firm 21 Shares and US ETF provider WisdomTree also filed late 2024, with filings coming in November and December respectively. Asset manager ProShares joined the ETF race in 2025. Another XRP ETF filing came in the European crypto investment firm CoinShares in January, with Grayscale proposing to convert its trust into an ETF, trading on the New York Stock Exchange. Volatility Shares, a Florida-based financial service firm founded in 2019, also filed 3 XRP ETF products. Other filings featuring XRP ETFs beyond dedicated XRP ETF filings, at least 2 asset managers have included XRP in a broader ETF fund. On January 21st, asset manager Rex Osprey filed an ETF Opportunities Trust, which includes 7 ETFs tracking assets including major coins such as XRP and Bitcoin, as well as meme coins like Bonk and Official Trump. Similarly, Tuttle Capital Management submitted an ETF Opportunity Trust filing including 10 daily target ETFs, covering assets such as XRP and Melania Coin. Aside from BlackRock, a number of crypto ETF providers have not yet filed for their XRP ETFs, including Invesco, VanEck, ArkInvest, Fidelity Investments, and Galaxy Digital. So as you know, we are early to crypto. We covered this a couple of videos ago, but that's crazy to understand that people who do regular investing, they want to be involved in crypto, but they don't want to custody their own coins, are all about to get a floodgate amount of XRP ETF availability. And as we've been talking about the SEC enforcement case, it could be wrapping up. So let's take a deeper dive into this. The case was reportedly in process of wrapping up, but the final outcome could still result in a monetary judgment. Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderoty, told Cointelegraph on March 11th that the SEC civil case was far more advanced than many others that are regulated had dropped following the inauguration of President Trump. Since January, the SEC has announced it will not pursue enforcement cases against Coinbase, Consensus, Kraken, and others. He went on to say, "We do have a judgment we are on appeal that presents some additional complexity, but we remain optimistic that we'll get a resolution with the SEC, and if we don't, we'll proceed with the appeal." According to Alderoty, there were several possible outcomes to ending the SEC case if both parties were in agreement that should wind down. If Ripple and the SEC agree independently to drop their appeal and cross-appeal on the Second Circuit, then the $125 million judgment in the lower court would stand. If there was a dispute over the monetary judgment, then the blockchain firm and the commission would go hand to hand to request any modification from a judge. The SEC versus Ripple case involved one of the first significant court rulings favoring the crypto industry when Annalisa Torres said XRP token was not a security under the regulator's purview, but only in regard to programmatic sales on exchanges. At the time of publication, no filing suggesting that the SEC intended to drop the case appeared on the docket for the U.S. District Court for Southern District of New York or the U.S. Courts of Appeals in the Second Circuit. There are some changes of tone under Trump, obviously. Ripple's Brad Garlinghouse said in an interview that aired in December of 2024 that the firm may not have gotten as involved in U.S. politics if the commission had been led by someone other than Gary Gensler. Under Garlinghouse, Ripple contributed $45 million to the political action committee called Fair Shake for the previous election cycle and donated $25 million in November of 2024. Ripple pledged $5 million in XRP to Trump's inauguration fund following his election victory, and both Garlinghouse and Alderoty attended Washington, D.C. events on January 20th as official guests. The chief legal officer personally donated more than $300,000 to fundraising in the political action committee supporting the U.S. president. Alderoty suggested that the SEC dropping the case was independent of any political donations and more reflective of acting chair Mark Urida's perspective on the industry and related regulations. So when we take a look at XRP on the daily charts, and if you're not familiar with what we've been doing here on the channel on my segment, we did find a really cool scenario that has worked out tremendously well. It comes from CryptoFace. He does this for Bitcoin, but it does also work on XRP as well. So what we've found is if you take the logarithmic charts and you switch your candles to Heikin-Ashi candles, and then you take the actual drop from 2018. So if you remember the all-time high, that was actually at the end of December into the week of January 1st. And then obviously price continued to drop from then, ultimately getting to a bottom of 24 cents in August of 2018. But if you take a tool on the charts called Array Tool, and you go from any one of the actual candles, you go from the top of the candle and you draw a line into the future, and we are using the center point. The center point you have to use is April 12th of 2021, the weekly candle there. And then you draw the line there. We're going to go ahead and turn this to where we can read it easier and make it a dotted line. This will project a line, a trend line, out into the future. So now when you turn off logarithmic and you go to standard candles, and we'll take a look from where we dropped that one. Dotted line was from the week of right here, week of March 19th, 2018, pivot point in the middle of the high of 2021. It gives us a point in the future. We go to standard candles. And interestingly enough, I hadn't drawn that trend line out in the past, but take a look at that. That is exactly where the all-time high hit. Now, some argue it's $3.80. That was a Korean kimchi premium. That wasn't the real price. The real all-time high now is $3.40. But look at that trend line. That's interesting, right? So those trend lines have been helping in the past as well. Now, what was really scary is the scenario if we were to start to drop below this level here that we just tapped off of $1.90. If we would have lost that level, there was potential of coming all the way back down to 99 cents or 98 cents and rejecting off of this trend line. But we're being optimistic. So a couple of things to keep in mind here. Our short-term shaft trend cycle indicator has bottomed at 0. It is time for it to turn back to the upside. Last time we bottomed at 0 on the weekly charts was here. October 28th, the very next week, was the first green weekly candle to the upside of our extreme move to the upside and all the way up into the new all-time high. You can see it was green this whole time. We have 4 days, 3 hours left to see if this starts to turn up and green. That's what we're waiting for. If we look at a smaller time frame like the daily, it's actually finishing a drop to the downside. But as you can see, last time we hit the bottom on the daily, 0, was the day before Trump announced his strategic crypto reserve before it became Bitcoin reserve and we had the push, okay? Now, what's also interesting when we take a look at this, obviously the weekly has zeroed out and our 3-day has zeroed out. So we have room to really make a push. Last time the 3-day zeroed out was here when we were literally at the same exact price, $2.22, and we moved up into the new all-time high pricing. And when we take a look at even smaller time frame, our 12-hour, this gives us a really great hope here because as you can see, we had zeroed out and we have started to curve up over the last 2 12-hour candles. Now, there hasn't been much volume, unfortunately, today. It looks like a doji candle, so we could be rejecting off of 2 points here. One, the resistance level of $2.23, but also the 10 exponential moving average on the 12-hour time frame. So we do need to see some volume come in here and really push to the upside. Otherwise, this momentum could fail back down to 0. Now, the other thing we have to look at is our long-term momentum called the wolf pack, and that is still below 0. That is not looking good, okay? So that still has a lot of room to move to the upside before we cross the 0 line, and then we can consider ourselves in a more bullish posture. But as long as this is starting to make its move to the upside, that's very positive, as opposed to the alternative. We look at the 4-hour chart here. The 4-hour chart, short-term shaft trend cycle has maxed out up here at the 100 level. So there is a potential that this has to come down and reset back to 0 like we see here. And last time I did that, it actually had a pretty significant drop because we were also in bearish territory on the wolf pack. Now, last time we had a move to the upside and we also crossed over the 0 line, you can see we started getting some serious momentum. So we look for correlation. We need to see this in the green territory and this having a reset to make its move. Price action does not have to come down per se because this reset. This could reset momentum-wise and price action trades sideways as well. So this is the 4-hour, as we just said. We have broken above the 10 exponential moving average, but we have not got a lot of velocity or volume coming in to push us back above this resistance level, 223. Our next resistance we're going to be looking for is $2.49. If we lose this and we come back down, if we fail and we do lose price action and we do lose momentum and we do turn back down, we could see a return back to $1.91, obviously as a support level. And interestingly enough, this is also our 1100 exponential moving average, which it did tick right off of as well. And the reason that I use the 1100 exponential moving average is because it does work very well. If we take a look on the 5 minute, you can see right now price is just continuing to hover around it. If we look at the 10 minute, you can see it wicked it just a little bit. When we break back above this on time frames, it becomes bullish again. So right now we are above the 1100 exponential moving average. So on this small time frame, we finally recaptured some bullish momentum, but it's on the 5 minutes. So it doesn't really matter. If we look at the hourly, we can see we're below it. If we can break back above it, get above this 250 resistance and take that as a support, we're starting to get some bullish momentum to the upside. So as of right now, I think we potentially have bottomed out here at $1.91. We will get confirmation of that if we get continued bullish candles to the upside, breaking above this resistance at 223. If we can get another green candle tomorrow, that new candle starts in 2 hours and 45 minutes, and it continues pushing up, likely we'll get to the 30 exponential moving average or so, come back and retest this breakout, and then move up to our next level. Unless we get some crazy news tomorrow where the SEC has finally broken its case, then we could be pushing up to 360, if not all the way up to $5. Those were our resistance levels coming in play as far as our spider lines go on the weekly charts.
Hey, bull runners, check this out. If you want to learn how to find the next 10x, 50x, or even 100x altcoin in this video, listen to this. Our research team posted GOAT on the 13th of October of 2024 when it was right at a penny, and since then it rallied to over $1 and it's currently still up over 5,000%. That's like turning $1,000 into over $50,000. Our team called Pendle at only a $16 million market cap, or 16 cents, back on February 18th of 2023, all the way back here, and since then it's rallied up over 4,000%. That's a 40x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $40,000. Our team also called BitTensor Tau September 15th, 2022, before the token was ever even launched. And since then, Tau has rallied over 2,000%. That's a 20x. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000. And the bull run is just getting started. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called Sui, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University. Just go through the link in the description below, get in right now, watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers.